Let's go. Welcome to On the Attack with Mac Live, a podcast meant to inspire, motivate, and even educate you to go out there and win in life. And your boy is geeked up. It has been a phenomenal Monday today. We're going to have an excellent show tonight. We're going to be talking about getting customers, investing in your future, and leaving a legacy. We'll hit you up with this motivational minute. The winner of the week, my homie Marcus Tate, the LBC OG's word of the week. I'll give you my weekly recap, and then tonight, my homie Blake Albertson of B&B Lawn Care out in Kansas City will be joining the show to talk about getting customers, investing in your future, and leaving a legacy. Do me a favor, check in. Let me know where you're coming from tonight. How was your day? We got Jake's Property Maintenance in the building over on Instagram. Bob Cuts Landscaping, Accomplished Lawn Care, 203 Shar so far in the building. If you are on YouTube, do me a favor and comment so that I know who you are so I can shout you out, baby. It's going to be a dope show tonight, and I am excited. We got Lone Wolf Landscaping up here in the building. Over on YouTube, Bees Lawn Grass Cutting, LLC in the building. Derek Higginbotham is in the building. Seeds Landscaping, LBC from South Carolina is in the building. Maya's Illustrations Lawn Care, Illustrious Lawn Care. Sometimes your boy got to get better at reading, all right? And some of these names are kind of long, and it's hard reading them live for you and not messing up. So give your boy a little bit of credit. But we got TM Landscaping, the 20-year-old Savage in the building. We'll be doing a shop tour with him soon. But yeah, man, it's going to be a fun show tonight. I'm geeked up. I got to turn this thing up. We'll try to get through this as quickly as possible because when Blake gets here, we want to be respectful of his time and make sure that we're giving you some value in your life. Hopefully, you're out there already working because today it was a warm day. But we'll get into that here when we get to the weekly recap. We got the Yard Bully over here. It says Yard Bully's from Detroit here on YouTube. What's going on with you, DH? Lawn Services 213 is in the building. What's going on with you? Hey, again, like I said, I know I said it already a couple times, but we are going to have a good show for you tonight. But first things first, we got to get to the motivational minute. You know, that's how we start the show. Every single live show that we do here on the Attack with Mac, we got to do something to motivate you. And then we will get to this week's winner of the week, followed by my homie, the LBC OG Marcus Tate's word of the week. So without further ado, I want to tell you about this thing I heard today. Let me make sure I hit this thing down on the ticker so you know where we at. All right. But you know how I do ADHD doom scrolling, and I be finding all these things that are so relevant to my life. And I hope that this one is relevant to yours because I'm gonna just tell you, this thing got me a little bit emotional today when I heard it. And so without further ado, let me just get to this. I'm actually going to read it because this is the first time I'd ever heard this thing. And if it means something to me, hopefully it means something to you. We got HC Lawn Care in the building, Dominic Bugatti in the building. What's going on? But here we go. Without further ado, this week's motivational minute, the parable of the farmer and the old mule. Comment down below if you've heard this. Let me know what's going on, Refner Lawn Care. Let me know if you've ever heard of the parable of the old mule. But let me read this thing to you real quick, and I'll tell you how it was relevant to me, and maybe it's relevant to you. What's going on, 30 South Longin, down from North Carolina? He said we're strong out in here. But here it is, the parable of the farmer and the mule. It says there was a farmer who owned an old mule. One day, the old mule fell into a well. It started crying out, braying. That's what you call it whenever a mule makes cries out, I guess. But the farmer hears the old mule and he finds him in a well about 25 feet down. The farmer sympathizes with the old mule, but decides the mule is nor the well are worth saving. He can't afford to rescue this old mule. So he tells his neighbors about what's going on. Man, the mule fell down and I don't know what to do. So can you grab a shovel and help me? What we're gonna do is put this mule out of its misery by burying it. I mean, my goodness gracious, that is a way to go, to be buried alive. But we're gonna put you out of your misery, old mule. And so at first, the mule is hysterical every time some dirt, a shovel full of dirt, hits his back. He's hysterical and doesn't know what to do. But then soon a thought strikes him. Every time this dirt hits my back, I'm going to shake it off and step up. So he continues to shake it off and step up, shake it off and step up and fight through the panic. And no matter how much it hurt and how tired he was, he just continued to shake this dirt off and step up. And what he thought would kill him eventually is actually the blessing. And after so long, he steps up and eventually gets out of the well. Now, I want to tell you why this got to me is because the guy didn't panic and things are going to happen in your life. So I thought to myself, I used to talk about this with people that I knew all the time. I'd say, if I had this or if this was changed in my life, then maybe these things would have happened. I was in 9 different schools between kindergarten and high school, always having to make new friends, always being the new kid in school. My father was in prison. You all know that. Single mother household, 3 kids, lights cut off sometimes, eating sugar sandwiches and top ramen, oodles and noodles. And almost didn't graduate because of a speech class. I had a conversation with a cousin the other day, and we were talking about being blessed, man. The mule got blessed by what seemed like it would kill him. And I was telling my cousin this. I was in 9 different schools before I got to high school. Father in prison, single mother household, had to grow up faster than I needed to. All right. I had to learn how to talk to all of these different people. I'm biracial, half black, half white. I don't fit in to anything, or so I thought. If there is a glass sitting on a table, it's either half full or half empty. And only the person looking at it gets to decide what that is. So you got to look at things and stay positive. What I've come to understand is the dirt was getting put on my back, and maybe it's getting put on your back. But I used to look at it as a victim, and now I look at it as victories. These were things that I had to go through. I had to be in all of these different schools so I could figure out how to talk to all of these different people. Being biracial is actually a blessing. I could talk to anyone. Father being in prison makes me realize how much my freedom, how valuable that actually is in being here for my kids. Single mother growing up made me respect women and love, be able to love. It gave me so much joy to finally look at the cup as being half full. I've been an eternal optimist, and I hope that you are too, because things are going to happen this year, next year, in the future. Maybe they've already happened to you, but it is how you look at it that will determine your ultimate destiny. I want you to win in life. And so I pray and hope that you will start to look at things the same way the old mule did when he was stuck down in the well. It doesn't matter if we're down in the well or not, because all you got to do is shake it off and step up, shake it off and step up, shake it off and step up, and use the things that you once thought were curses on your life as the ultimate blessings on your life, because you are still here and you were born to win. So I hope that you enjoyed the parable of the old farmer, or the farmer and the old mule. And I hope that you learned something from that, as I have learned something from it. And if you're interested in the Instagram reel that I got it from, do me a favor and DM me at Mac_landscaping 412 on Instagram, and I will be happy to send it over to you. But that concludes this week's motivational minute, and I hope that you enjoyed it, because this week's winner of the week is someone who is near and dear to my heart. When I was younger, you all know I played sports. I was playing flag football until last year. We ended with a championship, and then I was forced to go into retirement through no fault of my own or even my team, but the league that I played in folded. And so we're no longer playing football. But I have this cousin, and his name is Tymer Brown. Whenever I played football when I was younger, his dad, his name is Tim Brown. He used to play in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints. He also played in the Arena League, the old Arena League back in the day with for the Albany Firebirds. He won championships in the Arena League, and he has this son. His name is Tamir Brown. Now, I found out that Tim was my cousin when I was about 17 years old, and my cousin Tim, who I've talked about, I believe, on the show before. I definitely talked about him over on the Power Move show. But he kind of took me under his wing. My father was in prison, and I had this big cousin who's large, bigger than life. He was a linebacker, used to knock heads off. And so I was playing flag football for the Boys and Girls Club back in the day. And me and this guy named Terry Ross, and we were pretty good. So one day, Tim, I come down to the boys club after we get done playing, and he said, "Well, why didn't you tell me you was my cousin?" I said, "Hell, I ain't know. Thanks for telling me. I always looked up to you anyway." But again, like I said, he took me under his wing. Well, he has a son named Tamir. I met Tamir when he was probably like 8 years old, and a phenomenal. He was a phenomenal athlete even back then. But I remember back in the day, he was 10 years old. I used to destroy this little 10-year old in basketball down at the Boys and Girls Club. But that 10-year old grew up quickly. He became a Division I football player. He played football for the Yukon Huskies as a safety, and then he hurt his neck, rehabbed, came back from the rehab, and eventually he transferred and played safety for Boston College, the Eagles up there in Boston. Graduated from there and became the athletic director for Woodland Hills High School here in Western Pennsylvania. For those who don't know where Woodland Hills High School is, or even why would you know about Woodland Hills High School, except for the fact that Rob Gronkowski, that's where he went to high school at, the former tight end for the New England Patriots and also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think he's like a four-time champion and arguably the best tight end that ever played football. But my cousin Tamir is now the athletic director at Woodland Hills High School. But the reason he is the winner of the week is because he is now a two-time author. His first book he wrote was called Hoops and Hearts: The Magic of Teamwork, and his newly released book, which there will be links to both books down in the show notes, and I'll put them on the YouTube description and in the podcast show notes if you would like to support my cousin and purchase his new book. But especially if you have a student athlete, because now he has a passion for helping young people. Obviously he's a athletic director, but his newly released book is called Becoming the Ultimate Student Athlete. And I just appreciate, and I'm so, not that I need to say it, I mean, his father and our community are also very, very proud of him. And so it goes without saying, I love to honor people who are doing things, stepping out of the box, and doing things to share the light of information with others so that they can win in life. And this is one thing where we can definitely help to educate student athletes as they grow through all of this stuff that they got to go through learning, and especially with all the NIL stuff that they got going on now. So shout out to my little cousin. He's bigger than me, so I can't call him little, but my cousin Tamir, who is this week's winner of the week, two-time author. Make sure you go check the books out. The links will be down in the show notes. And yeah, man, shout out to you, Tamir. But before we get to tonight's guest, because I already see him down here in the green room, let me get to this week's word of the week by my homie Marcus Tate. I'm gonna read this real quick, and then we're gonna get to Blake Albertson, the young prodigy who's not so young anymore. But my man Marcus Tate says this week's word of the week is joy. The definition of joy is an emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires, a state of happiness, a source or cause of delight. Now, let's get to the paragraph. I believe the key to having great strength is the ability to access joy in life. We all go through so many life challenges that bring that try to bring us down, but have joy. As the definition states, joy is the state of happiness and the source of delight. Joy and your purpose are definitely connected. I know I have heard the saying, if you do what you love, you will never work a day in your life. So, if you align your career and purpose with what you love, joy will always be there to give you the strength along the way. Have a great week. And then he always leaves me with a cool Bible verse, and I'm going to share it with you. This is from Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10 in the New King James Version. Then he said to them, go your way, eat fat, drink the sweet, and send portions to those whom have nothing prepared. For this day is holy to our Lord. Do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. Whew, that gave me goosebumps. But yeah, man, the word of the week out here by my homie Marcus Tate, the LBC, sharing some light. But now, without further ado, I had to get through that quickly. We'll save my weekly recap till the end because we want to be respectful of my homie Blake Albertson, who I started watching his YouTube channel. He was one of the OGs back in 2014. He's the reason that I ever heard of Equip Expo, which used to be called GIE. When I heard him talking about it on his YouTube channel, this dude was like 18 years old. I'm sitting here like, man, I'm 33 years old. What the hell does this 18-year-old kid know? But I started watching him, and let me tell you, this dude is brilliant. So I'm excited to talk to him tonight about getting customers, investing in the future, and leaving a legacy. Without further ado, my homie, the man, the myth, the legend, Blake Albertson. How you,
What's up, brother?
man? What's up with you?
Well, I saw you had the headphones on, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give your viewers here at least some good audio, I hope.
I
So I put my
appreciate it.
headset on.
I
What's up,
love the
dude?
backdrop, bro.
Thanks,
That
man.
that backdrop is fire. I'm trying to get better. I gotta get all my stuff back together back here. But man, yeah, I love that back there. I gotta get some green
Thanks,
in my
dude.
background.
Yeah, dude. It took me about like maybe 2 weeks just working on and off of it. I didn't really know what I really wanted to do, but it works. I'm happy with it. So
Man, I
keep me
appreciate
buzzed
you
off,
being
dude.
on the
I'll
show.
go blind here for a little bit.
That's all right. I appreciate you being on the show. If anyone doesn't know you, can you give me a quick rundown what you do? Would they know if they don't know the name of your business and all of
Yeah,
that? Quick rundown.
yeah. I'm Blake Albertson with B&B Lawn Care. Um, Man, we're in Kansas City, Missouri. We mostly do weekly lawn mowing, aeration, overseeding, fertilizing, snow removal, and I make videos online, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and at BB Lawn Care KC.
Yeah, that's this. Look, when I first started watching you, I used to get the age wrong. I was like he was 16, but nah, we confirmed it at Equip Expo when I did my first meetup, and
Yeah,
you graced us with your presence, which was a total shock to me. But you came through. We had a great conversation, and that's when I found out you were actually 18. But I sort of lived vicariously through you as well as the other YouTubers that were on there, and we kind of I've watched it grow up as well as a lot of these other people. But I'm excited to have you on here because you talked so much just about lawn maintenance, and that's what I enjoyed doing too.
yeah,
So one of the questions I get a lot is I just want to get straight into it is how do you get customers? So what are some ways that you handle getting customers over there in Kansas City?
yeah. I would say like we still probably get 20% of our customers from word of mouth. Um, excuse me, which is amazing. That's the best of the best because there's really no selling. It's just, hey, I got your name from Nancy down the street. We'd love to get a quote. Yeah, what's your address? Boom, bada boom, get the quote out. And it's a simple couple text and they're on the list. And they already build that trust. So I love word of mouth. It's like for snow removal, it's probably 90% of our business, because we don't really advertise that much for snow as we're just getting into it, building it. Um, and then Google My Business and my website are like the other 70 to 80%. Um, so I think that we are doing a little bit more offline kind of things this year, just simple yard signs, things like that in our neighborhoods that we service, just to get that brand awareness and maybe get some calls, but it's really just, hey, I want my name out there online, offline, everywhere. Where like the past, let's say 10 years, I was like, I'm really focused just online stuff. But, when you're in these neighborhoods, you want everybody to know it, and not everybody's just always searching lawn care, So just having that brand awareness and being the guy. I just want to be the lawn care guy in these neighborhoods. And so that's kind of how I go about it. Like, even if people are, hey, I need a tree stump removed. I don't do that. But hey, to the customer, I'm like, hey, yeah, let me call around a couple of my buddies, see who can do it, and then I shoot them that way. But at least they know, hey, just anything lawn care, just call me. I love to help you out, because me being that guy, whenever it does come to a service that we do, they're going to be calling me, and that's worked out for me really well over the past, 15 years or however long I've been doing it, is just being that neighborhood guy. And that's what I suggest to most people. I mean, we're looking to add about maybe 50 accounts this year, which I don't think is anything that crazy, but like 50 premium accounts, like we're starting to kind of go through that thing where I talked with my guys. We're like, this yard is just a little bit outside. Maybe this group of yards, we don't want to be over there anymore. It's outside of our range. And so we're going to drop those accounts. And so that's kind of what we're doing, is kind of being a little more picky. Even though we're tight in our area, it's still like, man, we're driving like 8 minutes this way when we should just be staying here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of our focus over the next 2 months or so. It's figuring out what yards are just like, maybe they're just a pain in the butt. They got that nasty hill in the back, a fence. It's like, we don't want to do that anymore. Just finding those hand pick accounts, getting those off of our list and replacing them with, like, I don't want to say like top dollar, but just top dollar, a quicker, easier job for more money. I mean, at the end of the day,
Right.
that's just kind of where we're at. It's not like we're trying to triple our business this spring. It's just, dude, we're trying to fortify what we have and add into the areas that we're servicing. And so, to go back to the point, online, Google My Business, huge, Facebook, huge, website, those three things are like the biggest things that get us clients. And then offline is yard signs, word of mouth. Like, those are just the two things I've found that crush it. And just being the guy, like, anytime anybody says lawn care, like if I'm at the gym, I'm at a restaurant, anywhere, hey, Blake Albertson, nice to meet you. I'd love to help you out. Here's a card. Like, I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate business sometimes. Like, it's all about relationships. It's just who you know and who knows you. That's it. It's just, what vehicle are you going to use to make that happen?
No doubt. So whenever we talked a little bit about how to get customers real quick, Google My Business, yard signs, door hangers, knocking on doors, having your business card on you. You showed me a cool thing down in, or I think it was you, or maybe it was Cedric, and they were showing us this like wristband thing that
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
that
Yeah.
you can like tap that has your business card on
Popl,
it.
Popl.
Yeah, we'll put a link to that down in the
Yeah.
show notes. But once you finally do get new customers reaching out because you took those steps, what are some things, like some qualifying questions and maybe a few red flags that people should look out for?
Oh, man. It's just like, I pretty much ask very simple questions. All I need, like if I'm driving, this is all I say. Yeah, this is Nancy. We're looking for a weekly mowing company. Excellent. We'd love to help you out. Hey, sorry, I'm driving right now. Is there any way you could just text me with your name, your address, and your email? That way I'll already have their phone number. They're texting me. And so that way I can look and click on the address and everything. But the only other thing I'd ask on the phone is like, hey, do you have a fence by chance? Because sometimes, you know, Google could be 7 years behind, and maybe they put a fence this year, they got a dog. And so really all I need to know, their address and do they have a fence. Other than that, I can figure it out on Google. And if I'm totally wrong, like, there's a secret retaining wall that in a cliff that I didn't know about, we'll figure it out. But like, 98% of the time, if I know where they have a fence and I can get on Google Images or whatever, or Google Maps, I can find out everything else I need to know. If I'm a little bit wrong, I'm a little bit wrong. But most of these around here, unless it's commercial, like I'll go out and look at commercial. If it's like a massive property, I'll go out and look at it. But these, a regular residential yard in a neighborhood, we've been around these neighborhoods enough. I can pretty much within $5 or $10 tell you what the quote's going to be right there without having to go look.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I remember seeing a video from Jacob Goddard. You know who he is?
Yeah. Yep.
Scooter's Lawn Care. I think they're
Yeah.
down in Florida. And
Yep.
he was like, look, you have got to stop going and driving to all of these places and start using the technology that's available to you to map out these properties and just send quotes that way. It's so much faster. And when I adopted that method, it literally was life changing. Now, I will say is make sure that if you're sending your estimates that way, that you put caveats in there. One of the things that I say is if something changes from our GPS imaging, like you
Yeah,
just
that's
said, you
smart.
got a fence or maybe they got a swimming pool put in,
Yeah.
then we reserve the right to increase the quote, right? So make sure you put some sort of verbiage in there because what you don't want to do is, like Blake said, pull up and see that, you know, there is a fence in there and you got to do a push mow on the back. That might not even be a property that you want to take on. I know personally, Blake, we're trying to really be as efficient as we can be. And
Yeah.
I ain't trying to take on too many push mowing yards anymore. So we're trying, because I do have a lot of 32 inch or 36-inch gates here in Western Pennsylvania. So I'm looking at maybe getting a stand on that's a 30
Nice.
inch or a 32 inch or something this year, God willing. But yeah, make sure that you cover yourself when it comes to that sort of stuff. But
It's only
other than
been
that,
one time that
mhm.
I've went to the yard and it's way overgrown. And then it's just hey, we need to have a conversation. I was under the impression on the phone that, you know, the yard had been maintained up to this point and you're looking for somebody in the future, not it hasn't been mowed in 3 months. It's only happened one time the whole time I've been mowing yards. And so, yeah, if it's something crazy like that, but most of the time they're going to be like, that's happened one time and probably 50 times I've heard, it's crazy overgrown. The mower broke 4 weeks ago. I can't get anybody to come show up. Or I got a letter. I have gotten this a few times. I got a letter from the city. They're going to charge me, $600 to come mow it. It hasn't been mowed. So most of the time I have experienced that they're going to tell you if it's something crazy like that, but it is something you got to watch out for. If you said, hey, it's $60 and you go there and it's looks like an SB mowing video, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just call them back. Hey, we really need to have a conversation. But if it's one of my crews, I tell, this is what I say. I have to remind this every couple weeks. If it pulls up on Jobber and it pulls up a yard that's 30 minutes away, call me, because we don't do that. If you pull up to a job and something doesn't look right, the grass is crazy overgrown, some situation, if it's not just normal weekly mowing, call me, because there's an issue. Maybe I typed in the address wrong. Maybe I wasn't under the impression, because if they spend 6 hours there cleaning up a yard and they're just doing their job, and I send out a bill for $60 and I just lost $200, but that's the reality of crews. It's nobody's fault, but you have to remind people, hey, that we're working in a tight route. We do weekly mowing. If something looks out of place, just call me, because most of the time it's just something I don't know. And so that's kind of been like what do they call that? Like a learning pain or growing pain, something like that. That you just never even thought about. You never even thought, like, my guys be like, dude, we're 3 hours into this thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? 3 hours into it mowing? And they're like, dude, this thing hasn't been mowed in 3 months. And I'm like, see, I can't be mad at them, because it's just you have to remind people that's not what we do. So Does that make sense? Like, hey,
Yeah,
because you're not on every yard. Like, I'm
right.
not on every yard. I don't see everything that's going on. So if it doesn't look normal, just give me a call because it's probably not correct. Something, a miscommunication, a type, something's wrong.
No doubt. So you just mentioned jobber. So once you get these new customers and you decide you want to take them on, explain to the person who's new right now how you operate with your CRM. Like what is your process when you're onboarding a new customer?
All right. So she called me. Hey, sorry, I'm driving. Is there any way you could just text me that information? We got to that point. I look on the maps, whatever. If it's just normal, hey, $55 for weekly mowing. We edge, trim, mow, blow. We'll make it look good. We're happy. We can't wait to service your yard. Hey, Blake, everything sounds great. Get me added to the list. Then I just take that information, create a new client, and then we figure out where is this yard? Is it a Tuesday list, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day, and create a new client, create a new job, weekly recurring job, this price that we agreed on starting on Tuesday. And then, to over communicate, hey, just want to let you know you're on my Tuesday list. See you Tuesday, you know? And that's it. That's all we do. And then it's just done. And they're one of our customers. And then basically that day, if we have 2 crews running like we do, it'll be assigned to a crew. They'll get it on their app on Tuesday list and they go at it. And so especially in the springtime, the list does change. We move things around. If it's not working, we add people, maybe delete people. And so I always say it's not going to be the same Tuesday that you had last week, but as the year goes on, it'll kind of iron itself out as, it gets quicker to mow things, as we add and lose people just naturally in business. So the the quicker you can get that timeline from the first phone call to being on the list, the better, because
Right.
you're busy, dude. I don't even know, dude. I'll take on 80 more yards this year. I'll take on 100 if it comes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of time if you're just spending a whole day trying to get him a quote. And here's another thing. I don't remember what video I saw, who it was. I don't even know if it was a lawn care guy, but it really resonated with me because don't ever say, oh yeah, I'm going to get you a quote by Friday. Like maybe if it's a hardscape job and you got to do calculations, but like mowing, aeration, fertilizing, like, dude, get them a quote right this second, right now. I don't care how busy you are. And again, it comes back to like running your business, working on your business, those, whatever those fancy words are. But I work on my business. I probably mowed 20 yards this year or 2024 personally, and we mowed thousands of yards. And it's because it's my job to be adding clients. It's my
Mm.
job to be, you know what I'm saying, to keep the whole train moving, dude. And so that's my job. It's my job to Nancy text me right now. I mean, within 20 minutes, we need to be getting her on the list.
Mm.
That's just the reality of it. They're not gonna wait. They're not gonna wait for you.
No doubt
If it's
they
spring,
sure ain't.
it's dude, the freaking grass is growing like crazy. Their mowers broke. They've called 40 people that, a couple respond. Like they're gonna just keep calling until somebody's like, dude, I'm coming. And
Hmm.
so I'm telling you, like, especially with snow removal, when we got hit with the big storm, I was out there working and I'd have literally 80 texts and I can't get to everybody. And then they're like, never mind. We found somebody. Never mind. It, I mean, that's fine, dude. That snowstorm was insane. We worked for like 5 days straight. So whatever. But when it comes to mowing, like, dude, we're trying to add people. And so we have to be really timely just because it's not super important to us. We have hundreds of other yards to mow. To them, it's the biggest deal in the world. Again, their house is probably their biggest investment, dude. And so we have to really like flip the mindset when we're a business owner. You're there to solve the problem. And when their mowers broke, when their lawn care company quit, when they're not showing up, their biggest problem probably in their world is getting that solved. And so some people are like, oh, mowing is just mowing. Yeah, well, no, I don't see it that way. I feel like it's a pretty big deal. And when you talk to customers that are like, dude, nobody shows up. Nobody does good quality work. They came here, scalped it. They came here, did this. They don't, there's a million problems. They don't invoice on time is actually a big deal to people. I never thought it was that big of a deal. But like, oh, my guy, he'll go 3 months without invoicing me. I
Mhm.
think from a business owner standpoint, that's insane, right? But from the customer, they don't want to deal with it. People like routine and systems. And dude, at the first day of the next month, we're sending those invoices, dude. We want paid. They want to know that it's a reliable service. And so the more people use the word systematized, but it's really just consistent and reliable. The
Yeah.
more you can do that in your business, showing up, dude, every Tuesday, we're going to be there. At the end of the month, the first day of the next month, you're going to get the invoice. That's just how we do it. And so, I mean, some people, oh, like, dude, there's been times in my life where we'd have 30 people that want invoiced every week. The rest want it at the end of the month. And I would try to send some invoices at the end of the week and some at the end of the month. As crazy as it sounds, I was trying to people please. You can't do it. You have to
Yeah.
create a system. This is what we do and do it. And that's just it.
I agree with you 1,000%. And I had to get away from even the wait till the end of the month or beginning of next month thing. I do weekly prepay now
Mm,
to even get on my roster of
that's epic.
properties that I take care of. You have to pay. Number one, the reason I love Jobber is because number one, you can automate your billing, so I don't even have to go in and do this stuff on my own anymore. It's like you set it up, and once you set it, you forget it. You can set it for a certain period of time. Mine's is for 34 weeks, I believe. And then I can, if someone for whatever reason I don't cut their yard, it rains or whatever, I just can go in and refund those things. But I got tired of people's cards getting declined and me already doing the work. And
Oh yeah.
I do four things. My minimum $60, and at the end I'm owed all this money, and their card gets declined. And I got tired, and then I went to time of service, cut the yard first, then go in the truck to charge it, and then I find out, and I just like, all right, I'm not getting burned anymore. Jobber came on, and I figured out how that worked, and I was just like, all right, bet. From now on, we're going prepay, and you will pay a deposit to even get on. That way, my first initial is already paid. So I
Yeah, it's great.
already know that I got paid. So every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern over here, all the cards get charged. I get all the emails saying how many all my residential people are in. And then
Ding,
once
ding, ding, ding.
once that
Love it.
happens, I'm like, okay, now, Sally, her card got declined for whatever reason. Now I can call Sally up because I do all my residential work at the end of the week, and then hit her up, man, your card expired or declined for whatever reason. 9 times out of 10, it's expired. And so they just got to re-update their thing. I sent them out a new link, and boom, we're on and popping. So it really helped the cash flow thing when it came to the residential side. Now, at the end of the month, I do bill all of my commercial people. But there's a lot of different ways you can do it. My way is not necessarily the right way. Blake's way is not necessarily the right way. But today you heard two different ways people do it. So just make sure that you get paid at the end of the day. That's what you got to do. Now, also when it comes to new customers, what happens when maybe someone hits you up and they're not in your service area? How do you handle that?
Yeah, hey, unfortunately, at this time, I did change the language a couple of years ago. I just said, at this time, we're not servicing that area. Does it do anything? No, but it's like, hey, I'm just keeping the door semi open one day. We never know when we're going to expand or whatever. It's crazy far out. I won't do it. But like, if it's 20 minutes, I say, hey, at this time, we're not servicing that property. And if I have a buddy in that area, most of these areas, I have friends that service that area. And like, hey, reach out to this, whatever lawn care. Um, they'll take care of you over there. If it's crazy far away, just, hey, unfortunately, it's outside of our service area. We only service Liberty, Missouri. And so just keep it light, keep it, yeah, just, hey, unfortunately, we're not servicing that area.
No doubt. I got one more question. What are some fireable offenses for some of these yards?
How
Like,
long?
because I know for me
For
personally,
yards. I thought
uh,
you meant for people. I was
no,
like,
no, not
geez,
for
how long
employees.
you
We're going to get to that here in a second. But me personally, I'm firing one lady who just refuses to have her clean up her dog poop, and
Oh yeah, that's probably
I'm
number
not
one, dude.
doing. But what are some other things besides maybe dog poop that are some fireable offenses for some of these properties that you might take on?
Yeah, I mean, of course, payment issues. You found a way around that. If you're still billing it like me at the end of the month, billing issues probably number one. Dog poop, huge. That's just something you need to have a conversation uh, with them about. Hey, we're coming every Tuesday. If you guys could just either hire a service or just have it taken care of by Tuesday morning, that would just help out a lot. I normally give people like a couple, like a chance. I'm not. Hey, I'm not. I'm never showing up on your property again if you don't clean it up. Just hey, we're coming on Tuesdays. It's a really big deal having a bunch of dog poop on the area. If you could just have it cleaned up, that's what I would say. But um, probably the biggest thing. This is a hard one because a lot of people are super nice. If you're ever mean to my guys, dude, you're done.
Mm,
It's just no reason. There's zero reason. Dude, I've been yelled at. You've probably been yelled at, but people have came out and yelling at my guys, and it's just like, dude, what are we doing? And so having straight up conversations with people during those times is sometimes the hardest, but you have to have them. Like, dude, as a grown up, like you have to be able to have tough conversations, and especially in business, or people will run right over you.
yeah.
And so the second that you ever talk to me or my guys like you're higher than us, yeah, dude, we're done. You know, we're all good, man. Hey, sorry about that. Sorry we couldn't, all come together. We're gonna pass on service in your property or whatever. Um, but on the flip side, there's a lot of really nice people that sometimes just take up too much time. And it's fine if it happens once in a while, dude. I want everybody to be friendly. I want to shake hands with all my people. But like if it comes to a time where we're always being asked to do extra stuff and we're there for an hour or 2 hours, like it's crazy, but it happens. You give somebody an inch, they'll take a mile. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so that's another thing. It's not like a fireable thing, but it's like, hey, we need to have serious conversations that anytime we're there, we're only there to service this. Everything else is just extra added to the bill, or find a really nice way to say that. But I mean, other than that, if people are cool, people pay, we're going to mow. But like, other than that, dude, I'm just at the point in life that I don't need $50. I don't need $60. And so if it's going to be a problem for me or my employees, we're going to shake hands and move a different direction. But if people are cool, dude, we're cool. We're happy to mow it.
No doubt. Well, let's move on now because we had some a question about employees. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you. You recently like upgraded. I remember listening on your podcast how you like purchased a new business and
Yeah.
everything. So what kind of goes into buying someone else's business, or is it just buying a route? Is it all the equipment? Like what is that like?
Yeah. So, yeah, I get the question a lot. Like, would you do it again or will you do it again? Would I do it again? Yes. Will I do it again? Possibly. Like if the right opportunity comes about. But the truth is, most people, most small businesses can't run without the owner. Okay. And you've probably heard this a lot, but it's just the truth. If the old saying, like if you can't step away for a month and your business still running and growing, then it can't be sold. Okay. And I totally agree with that. And so the problem with lawn care, especially, is like a owner operator that wants to sell their business. If the owner steps away and you, as a buyer, buy that business and replace the owner's work with an employee, whatever P&L that they have, you have to cut out that salary of the extra employee that takes their role, and maybe two employees because the owner is always going to work harder than employees. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like, you learn all these things going through it. This is now my second one, the biggest one we bought. The other one I bought like 20 accounts when I was a kid. But it's kind of a good thing to do because you learn a lot about other businesses and can do it to your business, you know? So we talked about the billing thing. It's wild to see what some people use for billing. Like some people, like I used to, the old saying I say, it used to take us 2 days to invoice. And I believe that that's probably true for 80% of small businesses. It's probably a huge, a huge deal. And so if you don't have that system, nobody wants to have that headache. Nobody's going to buy that headache. You know, it's 2025, dude. If people aren't paying with credit cards and that whole kind of back end systems automated to a certain extent, it takes us still at the end of the month about 10, 15 minutes, you know, which is a lot better than 2 days. And so, that's just one example. Like if at the beginning of the day, if the owner's not there and the crews don't go and all the accounts get done and everything works, it's hard to sell that business. You know, you're basically buying accounts, like as a buyer. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking at a business and the owner works there every single day, 6 days a week, you know, and he's like, no, I want $100,000 because we made $100,000 last year, which is guaranteed. Go shopping around Facebook and you see a trailer and it's like, oh, lawn care business for sale, you know, DM me or whatever, or maybe they have the prices on there. But I get it sent all the time, like in my local area, and they're like, dude, this guy wants $100,000 and then $40,000 for equipment. Is this a good deal? And I'm like, dude, get the P&Ls, figure it out. But most of the time they're like, dude, we got 80 accounts. You know, we made 100,000 last year. We won 100,000. It's like, it's the numbers aren't going to work. Like if you take that, they made $100,000. Great. You're going to probably lose 20% of those clients when you buy it naturally. It happened to us. Maybe, I don't know if it was 20%, but we lost customers. It's like, what the heck, dude? I just paid money for these to service this and we lost them. But it naturally happens. And I knew that going into it because I talked to other people that have done it. And so you have to really, I don't even know what the question was because I go down these rabbit holes. But
me too. It was just how to go about buying a business out.
Oh, okay. And so, all right, let's come back a little bit, Blake. So, dude, first off, you need to go, what's the owner like? You know, is he just a good guy? What do the customers think of him? You know, the business I bought, the customers loved him, which is good. But it's also like, dude, I got to fill that void. You know, they loved talking to him. They loved, you know, having him there. And so that's like check mark number one, just that gut feeling. Is he just a good guy? He's not in there to screw you over at the end of the day. Then if you're going to buy the equipment purchasing is hard, in my opinion. You know, you don't know what the history is of that stuff. And so I kind of leave that, like, unless it's like a monster business. But dude, if we're talking about small businesses, like probably under $1 million, you're probably not going to buy all the equipment. You know what I mean? Like you're probably more in it for the business side of things. Who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, who cares what mowers they're mowing it with? You already have what you like, you know? And so we're looking at the business. So we need to get the P&Ls. We got the past 3 years. What did they make? What were their expenses? You know, I mean, what's the profit of this thing? You know, because anybody could say, dude, I got $1 million business. But until you see, dude, what did you file the past 3 years? What's the history like? Because if it goes, dude, I had $1 million business 3 years ago, and now we're at $150,000, dude, you're buying a burning building. You know, like what's going on? That's not natural. That doesn't happen in business. So it gives you a really good look at the back end of things. So then you got to feel what's it worth? You know, there's no rule book. There's no, I mean, dude, there's no calculation. It's not a mathematical thing. It's he wants the most amount of money, the business owner, And you got to figure out, dude, what can I buy this for? So I called a couple people. I called Corey Ballard. I called Mike Andes, and both really great information, and both gave me a roundabout number. Like, dude, if it's making $250,000, for example, the business, you can pay anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 for it. That was just like kind of what we calculated. And so Mike Andes said something brilliant: is what's your customer acquisition cost? What could you basically rebuild this business for? What would that cost? Then I can't pay anything over that. Like if it costs us $50,000 to replace this business as far as clients and systems and things like that, and he wants $100,000, we can't do that, because we could just build it ourselves and have our own customers. And so I don't know if that helps at all. It took us about 2 months of our life. We had lawyers and do the whole thing. I mean, contracts, like you have to do all these things. But in the very beginning, you have to say, is he a great guy? What do the customers think? What are the customers like, dude? What are the yards like? Where are they at? Where are they located? They could be all over planet Earth. What's the pricing like? If the pricing's at $30 and you charge $55, impossible to get those clients there. Impossible. You're going to be losing people left and right, because they're going to see it as, I've had this great guy for 10 years. You come in thinking you're going to be the big boss and charging me double what he's charging me. No thanks. That's the natural human reaction. So, like I said, there's just a million little things that you have to stack on top of each other. Be like, this is what we want. This is what we're willing to pay for. What do you think? And then after that, get it in writing, have lawyers look over it, and do the dang thing. And it was a really fun experience. But there's just no perfect recipe. Some of it's human. Like, dude, what's your gut say? What's your gut say about the situation? If you're like, I don't know if it's a good deal. I there's yards all over the place, then don't do it, because you can build your own thing, dude. If you're willing to put money behind it, like you can build your own clients. And so we did it because everything was in our area. Everybody loved him, and he was a great guy, and it just worked out pretty seamlessly. So I don't know if that helps, but
It definitely does for me. I hope it helps for the people in the chat and the people who are live watching, the podcast
and
listeners who
dude,
will hear this later.
lawyers are freaking expensive. So here's the funny story. I'll tell you real quick. So we're sitting in there. We were about for like 3 hours for our initial meeting, looking over everything that we had mocked up and kind of rewrote some things. And then I'm just like, hey, what about like a trust? Can you tell me a little bit about like living trust, things like that? Dude, and then it was like one of those moments where we all kick back in the chair. We're just chit-chatting, business is over. We're just like, hey, what? We were there for another hour and a half, just chilling. He freaking billed me for it, dude. So I'm telling you, I've heard that too. I've heard that. They're super great dudes and good people, but don't just sit in the office and talk, because you're on the clock, baby.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny story, but dude, it's wild.
Especially when you don't know that's coming.
$250 an hour or whatever it is. I'm like, holy crap. That was an expensive little conversation.
Well, now that you've purchased a new business, I don't know if you keep the employees or whatever that goes on, but we got a question from Black Sheep Lawns, my homie Pablo. He says, how do you deal with employees, like getting new and reliable employees that you can count on them so that you can grow your company? Did you keep the employees, or did you have to hire new people? What was that? How'd that go?
Yeah. Sorry. So again, in that particular business, it was an owner operator. He was out on the truck every single day. And so we had to hire for that position. And so luckily we had, like I said, 2 months, maybe like a month and a half of like, dude, we're going to do this thing. Like, we're pretty sure we're doing this thing. So I started looking for people and hiring. One employee did come over to our business. But the truth is about employees, dude, is you got to look everywhere, ask everyone all the time. You need to always be hiring. I firmly believe that. Always, because you never know what's going to happen. People leave. People just, dude, we're done. Like, I've had most of my employees, but a couple are all handshake, dude. I wish you nothing but the best. And we all move on.
Mm.
And so, I mean, that's how you should live as a human. You never know who you're going to need in the future, or never know who knows who in the future. So I try to leave everything in my life just a handshake, dude. Sorry it didn't work out, man. I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck. Because I'm telling you, it's crazy in life. I don't know if you've experienced this, but everybody, like you're talking to somebody, they're like, oh yeah, I know this guy. And I'm neighbors with this dude. And it's just like, dude, everybody is connected by somebody. You go on there, they've got 400 mutual friends with, and you're like, crap, I'm glad I didn't cuss them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, some people are just, dude, you give a spark and they're on fire. And it's like, you need to be able to chill that out and realize in life, nobody cares about your business as much as you. That's just how it is. And so you need to always be talking, always be hiring, always have that. I know that's annoying because most of the time it's like, dude, I need people today. And and I know that's probably where it is, and that's how we'll feel in the springtime too. But the reality is we're probably starting. I was just talking to my guy today. We're starting to hire now. I actually think I have all positions filled, to be honest with you, just from like conversations in the wintertime. Now it's like over the next month, we're going to just lock those in, get people here, get them in the environment, and like start doing something, and get them on the payroll, so they're like here and they're official. And so all that comes from just, dude, trying to be everywhere with advertising, marketing, whether it's for new customers, whether it's for employees, be friends with everybody. I know that's annoying. I hated when people said that, when you're like, dude, I had a guy quit today and I need a guy. Well, dude, go to Facebook, put a post out there. Hey, do you know anybody? Do you have a brother? Do you got a neighbor, somebody looking for a job? Go to your local Facebook pages, the neighborhood pages. My city has like 15 of them probably. Like swapping shops or whatever they call them. Dude, post it everywhere. When I'm looking for an employee, Tigran, I know I can't say his last name.
Gertz, I
Is
think
his
it
last
is.
name? Gertz. I asked him like a couple years ago. I asked him the same question. How do you find guys? He's got like an army. And he goes, I put a hit out. I'm like, dude, I give anybody $1,000 to find me an employee tomorrow. And he's like, people come. Because, dude, everybody has a buddy. Everybody has somebody in their life looking for a job. And then the more like long-term macro, is like, does it suck to work for you? Like, are you too hard on people? Are you, all these other things? But like the immediate is, dude, to take his word, you got to put a hit out. Like, talk to your guys, dude. We need people. Find somebody. Well, I'll give you whatever in return. Like, I'll take care of you if you find somebody. I go to Facebook. I go everywhere. I talk to everybody I know. I call all my local buddies. Dude, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody? Yeah, actually, I do know this one guy. And it works. And it's like not a foolproof plan, but it's like you got to do the best you can do. And then, like I said, it's like, are you paying well? That's part of it. Does it suck to work for you? Do you not have the right equipment for the job? Dude, we push mode for 15 years in my business before getting a stand on 32-inch, like you said you wanted. And now looking back, it's like, that's just one little chip of unhappiness that people don't like to do. And so as much as you can replace in your business, now we don't push mow yards. We have a stand on that can do that. So that should make people happier. Are you buying lunches? Are you just these little things that add up to make it good to work for you? People won't really get in trouble in my world. I'm a human. We're all human. And we have conversations when things happen. Okay. What exactly happened? A trimmer fell off a trailer or something like that. I don't cuss people out. I don't yell at people. We have a conversation. We figure it out. What happened? What can we make sure that never happens again? So
We got
don't
Van
make it suck
Green.
to work for you, man.
Van Green Lawn said, Blake, your backdrop is sick. Why are you pumping why aren't you
Oh,
pumping
dude,
out
that's a
those
good
pump?
question.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that here in a little bit. I wanted to ask another question about
I'm
the
trying, dog.
employees.
Not,
Yeah.
not really. I'm trying to get fit. It's like literally takes up probably 2-3 hours of my day, and most of my day is just centered around going to the gym. And so, like, that's like my number one priority. And then some of the other social medias have been like booming. So, unfortunately, it's just I'm gonna try. Dang it for you, Van Green. I'm gonna make one tomorrow.
My man. So what are some things like now that you got employees or anything, what are some things that you need to look out for? Maybe not in as an employee or whatever, but like workman's comp, that type of stuff,
Hmm.
insurances. What are some things that people need to have if they have employees? And I don't know if your phone, is that your phone? It ain't my phone ding
Is it
ding.
mine? Oh, sorry, buddy. I didn't know you could hear that.
Yeah, it's loud.
My
But yeah,
bad. All
that's
right, I got
okay.
you.
What are some things that you need once you have some employees to take care of yourself and
All
make
right.
sure that they're taken care of?
So let me just take a second here. When let's say this was the progression in my business, okay? And I was in high school, so I could get away with a little bit of things. We started mowing, got to 20 yards, kept trying to grow, kept trying to grow. My buddy came and helped me out. Okay, I'd pay my buddy $10 an hour to come mow yards. We just did it after school, did it on the weekends. Okay, got to about maybe 30 yards or something. I went to um, an accountant and a lawyer to set up an LLC. I didn't know what I was doing. I've always been wildly afraid of the IRS. Okay. Even when I was a kid in high school, I'm like, dude, I want to do this correct because if I do it now, I can focus on building and not worry about these problems later in life. This is what I thought it was in 2014. I was a senior in high school. And so that's when my business was developed or whatever. So I talked to them. What do we need to do? Paid a couple $100 for him to set up an LLC in an EIN number. Okay. So if you don't know, you have a social security number when you're born. Everybody has it. That's when you get a W-2 from a job, it's linked to your social security number. That's how you pay taxes. When you're a business, you have an EIN number. Okay. And your business, everything runs through that. Your income and your taxes run through the EIN number separate from your social. And so that mixed with an accountant are the two things I tell you to do. You got to get the EIN and you have to get an accountant because you're never going to navigate this yourself unless you just graduated. You're a tax specialist. I had a stack of envelopes. I think they were like 25 with, W-2s and 1099s and things like that. But going to local government, state government, and federal last week, I was just signing. They gave me a piece of paper with instructions. They're like, you know, they already make out the envelopes and they go, hey, just sign this, date it, write a check for blank amount. Dude, I'm telling you, you don't know what that is. I have no clue what those forms are. I would never be able to fill one out myself. And so you kind of have to build that foundation and that trust with somebody. And yes, you have to pay for it, but it's one of those things. Like you just have to do it. And so you got to do that. Again, what was the question? See, I get down these dang holes, dude. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay. What's some things that you need to make sure that you're
Okay.
taken care of when you have employees?
Okay. So you got to start there. And then you need insurance. So I just went to I think it was my parents, who they use for like auto insurance and things like that. And again, just sat there, had a conversation. I want to have employees. I have a business. I don't want to, if I hit somebody with a rock, I want to be covered. If an employee gets hurt, I want to be covered. Workman's comp insurance. They tell you this is what it's going to be a month. We set it up on a bank account and never looked back again. Every year, you have to do like an audit thing they send you. And it tells you it's basically like who worked for you, what they do, and how many hours they worked or something like that. just so they can charge you more money if you're working more or whatever. But like other than that, we don't mess with it or think about it ever again. And so then really the only last piece, your accountant could do this, or you can get a payroll service. Figure out, hey, John, $20 an hour, whatever. And at the end of the 2 weeks, what'd you do it? Type it into your payroll thing. They take out the taxes. This is what the check's going to be written for. Write the check, however you want to do it, direct deposit, and pretty easy. Like you have to set up this part to make the every 2 weeks pretty simple. So you'll notice that with a lot of business. Like you can sit here and wonder for a month how to do it. Go talk to an accountant, talk to your insurance guy, and do it. And never look back. Never think about it again. And then your accountant just say, hey, here's what I expect. Now we have our accountant does our bookkeeping and all the tax stuff. So I have a conversation every single month. I need a P&L. I need to know where our business is at monthly. Okay. I don't know anything about taxes. I need you guys to just prepare everything and send it to me. I don't know anything. I don't know when it's due. If it's monthly, if it's quarterly, you need it. I just need it done. Just send it to me and send me the bill and I'll pay you for it. And that's what we do. And so some things they have all my information, EINs, logins to the IRS, everything. And so if it needs to be monthly, I just get an email. Hey, Blake, just want to let you know that your, dang it, I was going to look it up. I don't know what it's called. Like we pay monthly payroll taxes. And so when you first start, you can pay quarterly. Once you have a certain amount of money owed in payroll taxes, you have to bump it to monthly. You can't owe the IRS, basically. They can owe you, but you can't owe them, right? And so monthly, I just get an email like maybe like the 5th of the month or something. Hey, on the 15th, this amount's coming out of the bank account. And I don't even touch it. I don't reply. I don't do anything. It's just they know that that's what they do. They're just an extension of our company. And so that might take some shopping around. I got lucky. I've worked with these guys for 16 years or something like that. And as we grow, as I'm able to pay them more, they're able to do more stuff for us and make my life easier. And so that's why I tell people, you just have to find a good accountant because I can't tell you the tax stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no clue. You have to have that conversation with people. Again, be straight up. I don't know anything about taxes. I need you to be my guide. I just need you to do it. And if they're not willing to do it, just find somebody else. Because that's just how business is.
I feel you. Well, real quick, if you still got a little bit of time, I got some. We want to talk a little bit about investing in the future, and my homie Payjack has a question as it pertains to that sort of thing. But
Beautiful.
investing in the future, I vividly remember you as like a 20-year-old kid, and you was always at your house. You were working out of I think you had like a 2-car garage, maybe a 3-car garage, and you had a house. And then you guys moved, started your family and all of that stuff, which is absolutely amazing. But what are some income streams? That's what Payjack wanted to know. He says, how many income streams do you have other than B&B Lawn Care, and are you using the same EIN for all of them as it pertains to investing into your future and building this thing that you got going on?
Yeah, that's excellent. Well, I mean, I think you could sum it up, and I have 2 income streams. I have online stuff, and I have my business. Online stuff, we have like 40. I make a little bit of money from Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or, a sponsorship, an affiliate link. I think I made a video on this, like maybe a couple days ago. We have like, yeah, I did. I posted it. Imagine a pool, okay, and a bunch of hoses in it. And if you just have one little hose, it fills up, slowly, right? If you have 40 hoses, it's like, dude, we're getting some water in. And then every once in a while, dude, a dump truck comes and just dumps water in that thing and fills it up. That's kind of our philosophy. That's kind of what I do. So I have a lot of tiny little things that bring us money. And we have a couple things that come with dump trucks and fill money. And then we have our weekly mowing, which is just our consistent for a couple months of the year, 30 weeks of the year, consistent flow, and then it shuts off. And so what happened to me for 10 years of my life is we'd get our pool, it starts to fill up, and then a hose stops, the grass isn't growing anymore, and then boom, wintertime, and then we start spring, broke, and then we fill that thing back up, and it's just a cycle. And you're like, dude, I never have money. Why do I not have money to invest? Why do I not have money in my savings? Why is it always moving? And so what I do and what I did is like everything, I try to make this in a video. Sometimes what I think doesn't come out. So
I understand.
I noticed these things, okay? We have some months we make $60,000 a month. We have February, I might make maybe $0. I have no clue. A lot of this stuff is very inconsistent. So in an inconsistent flow, I have to make it consistent. I have kids, I have a mortgage, I have a family. So for our sake and for my sake, I have to be consistent with inconsistent income. So how do I do that? Well, dang it, I don't spend all my money. Okay. No matter what happens, a great month, a crappy month doesn't change my spending habits. Anything, we don't react on impulse. I feel like that's just part of being a grown up, mature. I don't just see a new car on the lot and I just go get it. Everything I do is slow and thought out and like really sit on it for a while. There's always going to be a new car. Okay. If that thing goes away and gone, there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be another house. There's always going to be another, whatever it is, motorcycle, whatever, a boat, whatever people like. And so what we do, springtime especially, like if you just do lawn care, normally April 1st we start. April, not a lot of money. We're spending a lot of money, getting things back up and running, paying people. Not for you. You do prepay, but for us, we don't really have money coming in until May because we bill at the end of the month. And so May might be great. June, I think June was actually our highest month, probably from everybody paying and it going into the account or whatever. Anyways, we don't freak out and like just do crazy stuff when that comes in. We just keep doing our thing, dude. We invest, we save for taxes, we save. And so over time, after years and years and years, everything just is flatlined. We know there's going to be no mowing income. December, January, February, March. We know that. It's not a surprise every year. We don't just wake up, there's no yards to cut. What do we do? So part of that is intentional saving, intentional planning your finances, and just maturing that, like, dude, chill. If you get 50 grand this month, relax. There's always going to be a month there's not that money, right? And so multiple streams, being intentional with savings, all those things. And then, when you asked that question, I thought, like leaving a legacy and things like that. I immediately went to like, dude, what beyond the mowing income and things like that, what we're making this month, like what's that going to be one day? Because the reality is a lot of the people, just as humans, dude, if you have that money like in your bank account or whatever, it's not going to be there in 5 years. It's not going to be there in 10 years. There is no, that money, you're going to find somewhere to put it and somewhere to spend it in. And so you got to kind of get rid of that money. And so we have a financial planner, if you will. His business is actually like wealth management. And what it's saying is like, dude, if you made 100 grand this year, okay, most people are probably going to have $5,000 to $10,000 of that, maybe zero, maybe they spent all that and on credit cards. Okay, so that money's gone. If you can see it, if you can feel it, if you can get to it, you're gonna get to it. And so, and I've always been a natural saver. My wife, dude, I don't have to persuade her to buy anything. She's like, yeah, do it. I'm not like that. I'm natural saver, so it's not hard for me, but it's great practice for us. We get rid of parts of our money all the time. We give it to him. he finds places to invest it and grows that money. So when I think about leaving a legacy, that's like part of it. Dude, work today, find different income streams to make money, and then get rid of it and invest it and have that grow over time. Because if I don't have access to it in my bank account, with my card, dude, it's gone. It's out of sight, out of mind. Let that sucker grow, and then leave something for your freaking kids. You know what I mean? I don't know if I tuned into like one of your live videos maybe a couple weeks ago, and you guys were touching on that, like maybe investing in like kids' college funds and things like that.
Mhm.
Dude, like I know, like when you're out working, you're freaking hot. You're like, dude, I deserve this. We're working so dang hard, and it's like you got to be able to look into the future. Okay, you could break your leg today. You could have some crazy thing happen today, or in 5 years, in 10 years. You act like you're always going to be able to work, right? I made a video about this, about like you're not going to be able to cut grass when you're 60. And I had an 85-year-old like message me. He's like, dude, I loved the video, but I just want you to know I've had 4 different careers. I have 2 different pensions, and I cut grass every single day. I go, dude, hope for the future. Like, but the reality is not everybody's going to be able to cut grass or want to cut grass at 85. And then the other reality, I'm 28 right now. Dude, if I die at 50, I want my kids to have something.
Mm.
Okay? I want all of us to be able to look back, to 2024. For us, we had a great year, and be like, dude, we didn't just blow all that. Everything we bought's worth 0. Okay? Like I look on like Facebook Marketplace, for example, like you look at computers and they're like $300. You're buying them for $4,000, or a car. You're buying it for 80 grand, and it's worth 5 years later $20,000. And so if you just blow all your money like this, and you never let it build over time, you never get rid of it, you got no legacy, dude. You got the money in the bank account is just it comes and goes, right? So we take a portion of that, get rid of it, and we never touch it, and just let it grow over time. And so that when I thought leaving a legacy, that's what I thought, dude. My responsibility, get income. And then my responsibility is to get rid of it, let it grow, so we have something one day, right? I have no clue what 5 years is going to bring. I don't know if it's always going to be good, And so, dude, we get rid of that money, we let it grow, and yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought when leaving a legacy, dude. I'm young, we're making a lot of money. I want my kids to look back and be like, dude, at least I got something if something happens.
I love that, bro. I love it. I'm happy like you talked about investing and leaving a legacy all in kind of one thing. But one more question about the investing into the future. What are some things, because we are basically in a cash flow business, especially when you're mowing.
Oh yeah.
The residual, like the weekly income of mowing, it's why I like to do it so much, and it's very easy, very repetitive for the most part once you have the right type of tools and everything. But um this could be hypothetical. I'm not asking you to tell us anything that you're actually investing in, but what are some things that, that people can invest in? Because we definitely have to be doing something with the money. You can't just blow it into the sky because you
Mm.
want a nice new shiny car, a nice new shiny lawnmower because you're seeing Brian Fullerton with one.
Yeah, right.
We talked about that at LAL either this year or last year when you were on the video with me. But what are some things that maybe people, and again, we are not giving you financial advice, we're not financial experts or anything like that, as a disclaimer, but what are some ideas for some things that maybe people can look into investing in their for their future?
Yeah. So you're going to notice a pattern here. Okay. You look at any successful person, like I'm trying to think of a good video that people could go watch, but when somebody, maybe they have success in their life and they need something done, or they want to start a venture or something, what do? They find professionals, people that do it and have done it, ask them for help, hire them, and then leave it. They're not actually going out and doing that, right? And so for me, I think I started thinking about this maybe 2019, 2020 timeframe, and I dabbled on Robinhood, okay? I was too scared because I was like, dude, you see all this like Bitcoin and stuff, and it was like you'd put maybe $1,000 in, and then boom, it's $800. I'm like, dude, I can't put any significant amount of money in this. I just lost $200. I have no clue what I'm doing. And I got really obsessed with Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe like the S&P 500, like watching those all the time, like trying to figure out like when should I cut in? And then boom, and it's like you can't control it. I don't know anything about it. It's not my job. And so knowing my personality, I had to find somebody that did it. Yes, they charge a percent, but everybody's got to make money. You're not an investment guy. You don't know the stock market. You're not a trader. This is what I'm telling myself. I'm telling you, unless you are one. You're not a tax guy. Hire an accountant. You have no clue what you're doing. I have no clue what I'm doing. And so with all these things, you'd find somebody that does it and find somebody that's good at it. And so that's what we did. And part of that reason, I'm not in control of the money. I can't just get to it if I want to spend it. So it's that part of the psychology behind it. And it's also, he's done this for 35 years. He knows. And he can also talk to us. I tell him my worries. I'm like, dude, I hear this and I hear this and he's like, dude, everything ebbs and flows. We want the market to go down. We're going to just put more money into it. It's all good because over time, it's always going to go up. Do you think that Apple's going to, he goes through this thing. He's like, name 10 of the top companies I'm like, I don't know, Apple, Google, Facebook, whatever, Tesla, all these things. And he goes, okay, do you think they're all going to be worth more or less money 10 years from now? I'm like, more? They're in business, dude. They're making money. He goes, exactly. We're taking money and investing into S&P, for example, if that's what he does, 500 of the top companies. Even if one goes down, it's no big deal. It's always going to go up. And so, yes, it will go down again and it will go up again. And over time, history shows it always goes up. So investing is a good thing, in my opinion, but I don't know. I don't do it. I hired somebody to do that. I found somebody that was good, that's trustworthy, this is a great Dave Ramsey quote. Whatever you think about him, like him or hate him, is work with somebody that's willing to teach, like that has a heart of a teacher, not just a know-it-all, right? And that's what we found. I've talked to probably 10 different investment guys, and I found one that I loved because nothing was dumb. Just because you've done it for 35 years, I have no clue what it is. And so my question shouldn't never be taken as dumb because it's not my thing, right? And so find somebody that with the heart of the teacher, and that's what we did, and we get rid of that money. And so they know what to do. So we have a plan, right? This is how he set it up, and I think it's great. We have a plan from $50,000 invested, $100,000 invested, $250,000 invested, 500, $1 million, and beyond. And so every notch, we open up a different strategy for the next money coming in. So that your first $50,000, we want to go super. Again, this is not financial advice. This is my plan with my guy. $50,000, super safe stuff, bonds, things like that. Not going to be crazy huge returns, but super safe. That money's not going to turn into $10,000 overnight, right? Then $100,000, we're going to start to, 50 to 100, we're going to start opening up a little bit more risk, but your return might be bigger. We have the bigger opportunity for returns. And so he also has like a plan. So that's the money plan. And then when do you want to retire? What do you want to retire with? Work backwards from there. You can't, otherwise you're not going to do it. You're never going to get rid of today's money if you don't have that plan. Because it's just like, dude, why would I give you 20 grand today when I want that money? but it's because we have a plan. We have a plan for the future. And so just really sitting down with a professional that's done this, that has millionaire clients, okay, that does this every day, that has his own system to get you to where you want to go, has helped us tremendously. And again, dude, we're not totally there. I don't know everything. That's why I hire people. I can tell you, dude, you need to get an accountant. Dude, you need to get an investment guy if you want to invest. Because I go into Robinhood, dude, I've put maybe $10,000 into Robinhood over the last 5 years. It's just, dude, it's just like nothing to write home about. Like I'm not good at it. I'm just not good at it. And so knowing that, I just hired somebody to do it, and it's a lot more stable. It's a lot better. I mean, like today, I don't know. It's just every day I can look at where it's at and what it's doing, but I can't actively get to it today. You know, it's just kind of a psychological thing. It's helps, especially if you're a spender.
Yeah, I love it, bro. This has been a fire episode. Look, comment down below if this to put the fire emoji if you're on Instagram or you're down in the YouTube comments, man. This has been an amazing show all day. Information, the light of information. I knew that this was gonna happen though, because Blake, I've been a fan of yours for a very long time. But I have a question from my homie John Piper, the 7 foot landscape giant on YouTube. He says, as a young guy having 30 to 50 years before retirement age, where do you see yourself in the green industry? You think you'll still be in it, or what do you think?
Yeah, I have no plans to get out of it. So again, I'm not going to be mowing it at 60. That's my plan. You know what I'm saying? But we could probably go on for a really long time. Again, I've stepped back from the day-to-day mowing to work on the business, right? And to get money flowing in from all these different areas like we've been discussing. And so for me, man, I still have time to freedom and to be with my kids. And, I always say, like, I never wanted to be the reason we went the way we've went with our business is because any school event, if I need to take my kids to the doctor, if they have a dance, my daughter's got dance tomorrow, like 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm going to be there, like, dude, we're human, dude. You're never getting today back. You're never getting this year. Our kids are 5 and we have a baby. The baby, dude, 3 months old, is a lot bigger than it was 3 months ago. You're never getting today back. You're never getting this week back. You're never getting this month back. Right. And so we have moved our life in this scenario. Dude, I'm telling you, 2018 was where we're at right now versus 2018. I remember it vividly, dude. We were like, me and my wife, first year in our house, dude, the winter, I was like, I didn't know how reliable the mortgage payment due is, like, we had to really step up, okay, to get from where we were to where we are today. I was like, dude, I don't know how we're going to ever survive winters. I was like, dude, it's the problem with the industry, right? The grass only grows 30 weeks a year. But I'm like, everybody else does it. How do they do it, right? And we had to come up with a plan. How can we do it? And now, dude, it's been just fine. We get through winters because we found a strategy that works, or at least works for us. And so, no, it's not a problem with the industry. Yep, grass only grows 30 weeks a year. Okay, you got to figure it out. Okay, we went from barely surviving winters to wintertime. We're actually making money still. And again, not everybody's avenue is going to be the same. Ours was social media. That's how we made money in the wintertime. For you, it could be, dude, anything. The world is vast, dude. You can do whatever. You can offer any types of services to fill in the voids, but it doesn't have to be this fill it up, deplete. Dude, we're broke. We're freaking scrambling in April. I done it, dude. It's freaking miserable. And then you dude, it's just like, find a way to be consistent in everything you do. That's the only thing I could tell you. If you just barely spend money some months and then spring comes and you spend all your freaking money, no wonder you're broke in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. It's not fun. I'm telling you. My wife and I have these conversations all the time. She's like, dude, what did we just do this month? Let's go, baby. I'm like, chill. We have to relax. You just have to be like this. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to go through these ebbs and flows in life, and you're going to be like, dude, I'm a baller this moment. Broke. You know what I'm saying? I know I keep hitting on that, but dude, I'm telling you, 2018 winter, I'm pretty sure is when it was. We were looking at selling stuff to survive, bro. I'm telling to pay the mortgage, to pay insurance, and then I'm pretty sure that's the right year. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 2018. Maybe 2017 going into 2018. I can't remember. And then we got hit just a year, maybe a year and a half later with twins. And then my wife never went back to work. So we figured out from like, bam, bam, getting hit down. Now we have to pay thousands in health insurance on our own to thriving. Like, how do you get there? And you just have to figure that out for your own self, your own relationship, your own business. But I'm telling you, it can be done. That's all I'm saying. The reason I'm saying all that is to say, if you found this winter like, holy crap, how can it be done? I hope I gave you some tips, but it can be done. And you can actually go profit in the wintertime. You know, we slow down in everything in our business. Outworking, employees, everybody chills out a little bit. We get that break time. We don't work as much, but like, we don't just shut off. And that's what we did for probably 10 years is, dude, Christmas came and we just shut off until April. And that, you can't, obviously I was younger, but like, as a business, you can't do that, dude. Like, we just find anything we can do to be better all winter long.
I love it. Well, I'll get you out of here on this. What is for someone who's thinking about getting into this stuff, why should someone start a lawn care business or a green industry business?
Oh, dude, just like, I always think about like, I never had I've only had one other job, was stocking a firework tent. I love fireworks, but it's only like a month or two out of the year. But I think about somebody that with like a job that they just hate, maybe like in an office, like to be in a cubicle for me, no hate against anybody, is like jail to me. Like, and again, not hating on anybody. There's a lot of people that love it. A lot of people love the routine of corporate life. They love to be able to shut off at 4:00, not think about anything until the next day. I truly do understand that. I know why a certain personality would like that. And that's all good. And there's a lot of successful people in corporate America. But for me, absolute freedom. Okay. And I know it will not seem like that for probably 5 years in your business. Because, dude, it's like hustle. Like year one, dude, your survival. Probably the first 5 years survival. Maybe if you're older, you can get adjusted quicker. I was a kid. I had no clue, dude. I was worried about girls and this and that. And you know what I'm saying? Like any high school, college guy would be. But once that hustle and you build some sort of foundation and you figure out systems, everything will kind of like dial in, right? And then you get freedom, and then you get to choose where the business goes. You get to choose, dude. I work 5 days a week by myself. You can have a great income. If you're responsible with money, you figure things out, you save, you have a strategy, you can do it. Thousands of people do it, right? But you could hire people. You could say, dude, I don't want to be out on mowing. I want to be the leader of the business. I want to hire people and have crews out mowing. You can do that. Dude, you can be like, dude, I want to really dive into it. I want to invest in 5 trucks, trailers. We're going to go at it this year. You can do that. So absolute freedom, not only time freedom, in my opinion, but freedom to choose where you want to go and what you want to do and ultimately what you want to make. And so for me right now in our chapter, everybody's at a different chapter in life. You have to remember that when I get comments that are like, oh, dude, this would, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's a different chapter. In our chapter currently, we have really young kids. Our kids are going to school next year, right? Which is going to be a huge change in our life. So we're trying to spend as much time possible with them, right? We have a young baby. We're trying to spend as much possible time with her. And so right now, the most important thing for me is my time. Okay, so that's where we're at in my business. I have really dialed back from day-to-day things. I'm responsible for keeping everything moving, flowing, and making money, getting money in the door, but not the actual mowing part. Okay, maybe that'll change. But for me right now, in my chapter, we're only worried about time. And for you, it might be different, right? When our kids are in school and, we have all day, it'll be different. But you got to realize where you're at, what is the main priority. For me, it's not even about money currently. And we're still making more money than we've ever made. And so it's kind of like one of those things that I know money allows me freedom. So it's a huge priority, right? Does that make sense? Like, I know that sounds weird and contradicting, but it's like, I know that if I can make the most amount of money possible, I can choose where my time goes. And so like those two things combined are where we're at. And so, again, I don't know what it'll be like in 5 or 10 years. Our kids will be in school. We won't have all day with them, right? And so my day-to-day job will change. But for me right now, dude, I got one more summer before they go to school. And I'm going to spend as much time possible with them. So I'm not, I need to get 20 yards done this week. Nope. I just need to spend as much time with my kids and not let my business catch on fire. And we're going to continue growing because I'm hiring people. So don't be afraid to hire people. If you want to be solo, be solo. It's great. Tens of thousands of people do it, make a great living. For me, I need time. So to do that, I have to hire people. I don't take time doing taxes because I hired an accountant. I don't take time doing investments. Dude, I was watching Robinhood. I'd be up all night watching Robinhood like I knew what I was doing. I was just watching the green arrow go up or the red arrow go down. No, it's a waste of time. So hire somebody, do it. We have a plan and we follow the plan. That's it. I don't ever worry about it, talk about it, think about it. And so same thing with mowing. We're going to train you. This is what we do. This is what you do. Here is the guidelines we go by. And of course, it's even better when they go working with people that have been with your company for years, right? Because then they're teaching, hey, dude, I'm paying you more. You're a leader. I'll help you. I'll assist you in any way. Anything anybody needs, I'm there, right? It's my freaking business, right? But lead them, dude, on these little day-to-day things that come up. Just lead them, help them. They don't know. Even if they work for another lawn care company, we're going to do things different than they did. And so, the first couple of weeks we'll be doing all that and messing with training people and things like that. But other than that, let people go, give people the ropes, dude. I don't know if you watched early days of my YouTube, but every night we would wash equipment and mowers. And that's it's great. It truly is. But the reality of that is not happening today in my business. We have maintenance. We keep up on all of our maintenance. We wash the trucks once a week, try to keep things looking nice. But, you have to come up with a system for all that, but it's not every day. It can't be. But let people go, dude. I had to sharpen the blades. Me personally, I know how to do it. It's my thing. You got to let it go. Okay. As you grow, you got to let it go. You should.
As you grow, you got to let it go.
You got to let it go. Type that out. That's dope. But it's true, dude. And so even changing tires, dude. I came up with a system. I tell everybody what that system is. I equip them in their trucks and their trailers with that system. And I no longer get called Oh, the mower tire's flat. What do we do? Should we sit here for an hour while you end whatever you're doing and make your way over here? No. Nope. You guys have all the tools, the knowledge of how to get it done. You'll be back up and running in 5 minutes. You don't even need me. The first probably 2 years when I had one crew and I was working on the other crew, I would meet them at the gas station because I didn't give them an employee card. But I didn't even know it was a thing I was able to do as a small business. I thought it was something like, huge companies did. You don't know what you don't know. And so imagine how much time I had to end it. Let's say I just started a yard, right? I'm mowing. They ended a yard there at the gas station. The gas station. Hey, we need gas. We're headed to the gas station. They have to wait until I finish this yard and then drive however many minutes. Dude, I wasted so much time. All just money down the drain and time down the drain. I mean, in the springtime, it's not about the payroll or the hours. It's about time. There's just not enough hours in the day. And so all these little things, dude, all these little efficiency things that you implement all the time add up to a totally different business 5 years from now. Something as small as it's like a Chase credit card. All you do is go onto the app and click add employee card. 3 days later, it's in the mail. I had no clue. I was like, well, I've heard stories. I've heard stories that employees will use it on their own tanks. Back in the day, I thought, dude, that's the end of the world. Like, what if somebody put $100 on the card? But like, as you get flowing, it's not like I micromanage it, but it's just, you just know. Like, we have cameras where we keep equipment, where we take off and leave from. If there was ever a weird day that seemed inconsistent, like somebody came back, they left in their vehicles, we'd look into it deeper. But for the most part, it's never happened to me, okay? From the best of my knowledge, it's never happened. If there's again, as you get going, like in the summertime, let's take June, July, August, September, October, if there's a wild charge, an inconsistency on the cameras, like somebody came back and you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be like, dude, what the heck's going on here? And we'd investigate further, we'd ask questions. But like, I never even think about it. Every person that's drove a truck in my business has gotten their own credit card for probably the last 7 years. And it's a beautiful thing. But again, I didn't know about it. So if nobody ever tells you these things, it might be silly to you and me, but if you're just getting into it, you might not know.
Right.
So
this has been fire, bro. Like, I so appreciate you coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Before you go, where can everyone find you? Make sure that they're following my homie Blake Albertson on all the socials.
B&B Lawn Care on YouTube, at B&B Lawn Care KC on Instagram and TikTok.
And I appreciate it. You got any parting words before I let you go and close the show out?
I don't think so, dude. Obviously, I can talk for a long time. I want people to win, dude. Like, and winning to me is probably different than winning to other people, right? But winning to me is like time with family. Like, that's like everything in life. That's all it's meant for, right? It's just being with, if you have kids, being with your kids, being with your spouse, or whatever capacity. Maybe it's your parents if you don't have kids or whatever. But being with people that you love is ultimately the one goal that I have. As crazy as all this sounds, every video, every yard, every person I talk to, it all comes down to that goal of time with family.
I love it, man. So make time your priority. I heard this thing one time. They said you only get 18 summers with your kids,
dude.
And then they're on to. I'll tell you one thing right now. I got a 18-year-old son, a 13-year-old, soon to be 14-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old. And it seems like just yesterday they was all little. Now my girl's in kindergarten. I got an 8th grader and a graduate. So it happens quickly, man. Make sure that you invest so that you can have your time and also leave a legacy for the people that had no choice in the matter in being here if you brought them into the world. So, Blake,
Dude,
again, bro, I appreciate it, man. We love you. We appreciate you. We wish you nothing but success. And make sure you're following my homie Blake on all of the social media platforms. You can ask him questions and everything. He's very responsive. That's
thanks,
how
brother.
he became my friend. So we'll see you next time, Blake. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, man. Peace. Yo, I hope that you really got something from this episode. Blake absolutely crushed it for, I, I told him 30 minutes. He's been on here for an hour and a half. And man, this has been amazing. I learned so much, and he's only 28 years old. That's why I call him the young prodigy, man. He's 28 years old and well beyond his years. Already talking about investing, leaving a legacy. And man, did he come through and bless the show tonight. But now that takes us to the last shot. We got to get out here and close the show. And this whole show was about getting customers. First of all, get into the green industry. Get out here and start something. Get in the damn game, man, so you can start shooting layups at first, but then it'll be like the NBA where everyone just seems to be shooting threes. And before you know it, you could be like Steph Curry, absolutely banging those things. But the last shot tonight is we talked about getting customers, investing in your future, and leaving a legacy. So, tonight's last shot, I would just ask you to do things that will help you to make an impact and leave a legacy for someone else. My cousin created two books. So books last forever, man, once they're created. We got Blake, who started a business when he was in high school or maybe even grade school. And now he's a 28-year-old man investing, has children, a wife, houses, and doing all of these cool things. Why? Because he wants to have time and freedom. The same reason I got into it, the same reason you probably wanted to get into it. And at the end of the day, I heard this thing on the Instagram reel very recently, and it really struck me. And this is all about making an impact and leaving a legacy. And it is this: you cannot take money with you, you can't take material things with you. Man, only thing you get to take to heaven with you is your children. And how do you do that? By making an impact on their life, doing things to inspire them. And when you start something, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, when you start something and your children see you doing things, going to church, starting businesses, investing your money into your future and ultimately into their future, you're going to leave such a dope legacy for them that they're going to want to come meet you in the afterlife. And the only thing you can take with you is your children. I thought that was such a dope quote, and it just really struck me because that's what leaving a legacy is. It's doing something for not just your children, but your children's children. That's in the Bible. My man Marcus Tate one day will send us a word of the week about that very Bible scripture. But make an impact and do whatever you got to do to leave a legacy. As always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And always remember, the creator created you to be creative. So create what you want in your life. And I'm out.